Hi, I'm Nancy Didami, your guide to painting inner peace, one brushstroke at a time. And today we are going to do one of my favorite things, which is learning how to mix colors. And everything can be made from the three primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. And I find it really fascinating that creativity can be so simple. And when the possibilities are endless. So let's get started. So I started with three colors on the canvas, and the primary colors, the red, the yellow, and the blue. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to mix them. And I also have some white and some black. So you can think of these primary colors as the parents of all the other colors. Primary colors cannot be created, but they can be used to create any other color under the sun. So red is thought of as being vibrant, passionate, and strong. It's in the warm family. Yellow is bright, cheerful, and full of light, and it's in the warm family. Blue is calm, cool, and reflective, and it's in the cool family. So here's the tip on mixing colors. You might want to even write this down. When you mix warm colors together, everything's good. When you mix cool colors together, everything's good too. I'll show you what happens when we mix things that we shouldn't mix and we get mud. And we don't ever want to get that. So the primary colors are the foundation, but when you mix them, that's when the magic happens. So let's start with a little bit of yellow. Put that right here. Now, the pigment, as you can see, some of these colors are much darker than others. So I'm not going to use the same amount of red that I did yellow because the red will overpower it. So I'm just going to take a little bit, and I can always come back. See, I've got a little bit too much red. That's a lot of orange. I'm going to put some more yellow in there. And you can see now that I have orange. Take a little bit of yellow and put it right here. And I'm going to take the tiniest amount of blue, because this is a really dark one, and start it there and see what happens. And this is going to make green. So I can add a little more blue. Now I've got green. These are called the secondary colors. And let's try some blue and some red. Now, what color do you think this will be? This is going to be purple. Blue is really saturated, so it's I think I need a little bit more red in there. There you can see the purple. So now we have three secondary colors. Red and yellow makes orange, yellow and blue makes green, and red and blue makes purple. what happens if we, so you, notice what I did is I used very small amounts. And what you can do is go slowly to see what's happening. You can mix directly on your canvas, or you can mix on a, oftentimes I use a paper plate or um, a covered container so my paint doesn't dry out, and mix in that and then use it. So let's shift the mood a little bit and see what happens when we add some white to our colors. A little bit of white over here on the canvas. Oh, that's a lot of white. Okay, so let's take a little bit of white and mix it in with the orange and see how now I have more of a like apricot color. And I can add even a little bit more and it will get even lighter. I'm going to clean my brush on my water. Dry it off a little bit. Now let's see what happens if we add white to green. See how we can change mood of the color that we're doing by just adding something else to it. And that's beautiful green. If we wanted it to be a little bit lighter, we could even add more white right here. Now let's add some white to the purple. Ooh, see what happens. I'm going to take more white here because this is a much more saturated color here. So now we have a lavender. And we could even make it lighter. Take a lot more white there. Now we have 3 shades of purple. So what happens when we add white, to the primary colors? Take a little bit of white. Let's take a little bit of yellow, put it over here. Take a little bit of white. I have a lot of yellow on my brush. And you see how we can lighten up that yellow. And we could do it even more if we wanted to. So let's just see here. It's not, it's a little bit hard to see on there. So what happens if we add a little bit of white to our red? Well, we all know what red, well, let's see what happens. I'm going to take a little bit of red. I'll just put this over here. Making a circle of red. Putting it on my other canvas from the brush. Now let's add some white to the red. Let's see what we get. Yep, we get pink. If you want more pink or lighter pink, then you have to add more white. And then let's do the same to the blue. Let's take a little bit of blue, put it right here. And let's grab a little white. Oh, that's a pretty blue. This is phthalo blue. Phthalo blue always does really well with when you lighten it up. So let's put some more white with that. See if we can make it even lighter. So right there we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 12, 15, 18 colors. That's pretty cool. Now, let's add some black and see what happens. So I'll take a little bit of black here. And I'll put that over here. It's not going to take very much black, I can tell you that. Oh, darn it. Oh, boy. So let's take a little bit of yellow and put it right here. And now we're going to do the same thing. This is a skewer I'm using to get the black because it doesn't take much. See how it tones down the yellow considerably? It's still yellow, but it's not the same vibrancy as the yellow was. Black to the orange. See how it mutes it down? And that's what the black does to everything. So let's add a little black to the red. Makes it a deeper kind of red. Try some black with the purple. So you can see that you can create all kinds of colors here with just the primary colors, white and black. Let's add a little black to the blue. And see how that blue is more muted. It's not, I'll say I got a little bit too much black in there. Let's put some black over here. And see how it changes everything. Makes the blue seem much darker. Okay, well, we have green left to do. So let's add a little bit of black to the green and see what happens. Each variation tells a very different story, and you get to decide what story you want to tell. So you want to mix colors slowly, watching what happens and responding. So if I didn't like one of my colors, I could add more. So I could add more red and blue here and make this, change this. I could add a little bit more yellow to this. So you get to play. It's really playing, which is really a lot of fun. So you don't need to be precise. In fact, this practice is more about feeling than formulas. You want to mix with curiosity, let the colors blend on the palette, or even write on your painting. And notice how colors change as you add more water, more pigment, or simply more breath to the process. Sometimes the wrong color turns out to be exactly what you needed. It can be simple. It can be very, very simple. You don't need 100 tubes of paint. You just need to be curious and play. This is Nancy Didami from nancydidami.com, your peaceful painting, discovering calm one brushstroke at a time. Until next time, take care and happy painting. Oh, I will have a paint mixing guide in the description listed below that you can download. And so just be mindful of that. Look for the link, and I'll see you next time.